Sup Squares, and welcome to episode 3 of my Wonder Wheel series. We spin the wheel at the end of every episode to see what's the next game I play that's available on Nintendo Switch Online. In episode 3, I played through Kirby's Dream Land 3 for the Super Nintendo. The game was released in 1997 on the Super Nintendo. So as my initial thoughts on the game, I thought it was a really great game. I did manage to play the game completely to 100%. So I guess we'll start with the gameplay controls. So the gameplay is pretty simple. It's a 2D platformer, kind of like Mario. Obviously, your initial goal is to get to every stage and complete every level. Kirby can infinitely jump, essentially copy enemy abilities. And honestly, this was kind of like the very first Kirby game. It was kind of simple. For the most part, it was simple power-ups. It wasn't anything like crazy now, where Kirby gets an attribute of the enemy he absorbs, like a hat or the sword or a flame head or something like that, indicating what he has at the moment. So to continue with the gameplay, as you're playing, you have you can, I think if you have enough HP, you can summon Gooey. He's like a AI player partner who basically, to my knowledge, I think if you only have so much health, you basically have to sacrifice some health to summon him. For the most part, I kind of did not summon him because I thought at times he was more of a hindrance than anything, depending on, especially what I was, in the later game I'll talk more about that, but, so, as far as levels are concerned, I thought the level designs were really great. There really wasn't a boring level, per se. Well, yeah, there really wasn't there really wasn't any boring levels. The bosses, I thought all the bosses were pretty good. Very creative bosses too. Especially the one with the painting boss. That was pretty creative, I thought. And the last boss was that was a really amazing final boss. He definitely kept me on my toes. Dark Matter, and then Zero. So it took me about a week and a half to beat the game. Again, I played it on and off. I didn't have any any long sit down sessions, maybe except for breaks at work when I sat down for an hour. But it took about a week and a half to beat it. And that's to do everything in the game. To actually just beat the game standard without the good ending, it probably only took me about a few days. But I think if you actually sat down and played the game straight through and did everything you were supposed to from the get-go, it's probably about a 3-4 hour experience, probably. The game's really not that long. But for a Super Nintendo game, it's a pretty beefy game. For a Super Nintendo game. As far as how to beat it, so to actually get the actual good ending, you have to collect all the heart stars in each level. Well, collect a heart star in each level, which the game never indicates to you in any obvious way that you have to do that. I didn't find out till the very end of the game. And to find out, I had to go back through every single level and do it again, essentially, along with mission, essentially, to get the heart star. It was a little irritating, the fact the game didn't spell it out to you. But again, I think the game was enjoyable enough to where it didn't really dampen my enjoyment of the game. I think for some people it might have irritated them to find out that, hey, I got all the way to the end, and that wasn't the real ending, and turned out I had to do something I didn't even know was a thing. I was kind of a little irritated by that, but again, it was still a great game. I still have fun with it either way. As far as difficulty, so one of my gripes with the game is I think a lot of the levels, especially if you're not going after the heart stars, if you're just going to get to the end, it is very easy. Because Kirby essentially jumps infinitely by himself without an animal partner. So most of the levels you can kind of just infinitely jump through the entire level to the top of the screen and almost never get hit. Once in a while you might have to dodge an enemy because they're too high, but what? It's cake. I can see the game be a little more difficult if you actually played it the way you're supposed to. You know, take on each enemy as you go through the level. But, and getting the heart stars. Because some of the heart stars are definitely, definitely require some, obtuse knowledge of the game. Sometimes, I find it kind of funny that it's kind of like Kirby's Dream Land 3 is kind of like it's like a precursor to Breath of the Wild almost, Zelda. Because when you match some of the animal buddies with some of Kirby's powers, they use those powers mixed with the animal buddies in creative ways. Like really creative. Like Kirby's clean ability, when he gets the clean ability, basically he gets a broom. He can sweep dirty stuff away or kill enemies with it. If you have, I think the partner's name is Coo. He's like a owl bird thing. Kirby uses Coo as a feather duster, which I thought was pretty hilarious. And then I'm trying to think of other things they did that were really creative with the enemies and the well, not the enemies, but the abilities with the animal buddies. Some of them were really creative. Because I know there's one heart star you have to get where you actually have to do that. You have to get Coo and the clean ability at the same time to do a certain task. You have to clean like soot off the flowers or something. And it's funny, Kirby like literally waves him like a feather duster. I thought it was hilarious. I thought what's the partner's name? The one that's kind of overpowered, I found out, is what's his name? Nago? I think he's the cat. Nago the cat. He's like really overpowered if you know how to use him, especially when you have him with fire ability. He like endlessly spits out like waves of fire endlessly. He kills anything in his path, including the bosses. Like the bosses are trivial if you had that combo together. But anyway, yeah. All that said, I thought they were very creative with the game, as far as letting you mix and match things with the animals and the copy abilities. I thought they were very clever in their usage. And again, you know, funny examples of, you know, they're two mixing together. But yeah, anyway, back to the difficulty. Yeah, if you were to actually play the game, if you want to 100% the game, the difficulty definitely ramps up. Because there are certain things you have to do in the game that, like I said, with the heart stars, you have to get the heart stars. And you have to get a heart star in each level by doing a certain task. And then, obviously, at the end of the game, you have to beat King Dedede, who is possessed by dark matter. And then, obviously, when you beat him, dark matter basically faces you himself in a three-phase boss battle. Again, I don't want to reiterate. I thought that boss battle was very amazing. Like, it's one of the better boss battles I've played in a video game. It was very engaging, and it was difficult until I got the hang of it. And once you get the hang of it, it's cake. He's easy to take down. So, without the heart stars, the game is easy, very easy. With the heart stars, I would say it's probably like medium difficulty. I will say I did have to look up how to get some of the heart stars because, again, I thought some of the methods you had to do were somewhat obtuse. Like, you had to have like deep galaxy brain to think that Coo, with the clean ability, would make him a feather duster. Never in a million years would I think Kirby would pick up a giant bird and use it as a feather duster. So, anyway, that out of the way. I do have a couple gripes with the game. Just a couple. It doesn't ruin the enjoyment of the game in any way. But just, you know, most games have their one or two things that, you know, kind of bring it down a little bit. My first gripe was the difficulty. Again, I thought it was just way too easy. If you're just using Kirby and you're just trying to get to the end of the game without the good ending, the game is way too easy. Because you can literally just fly over everything. My other gripe was just, yeah, some of the obtuse ways to solve some of the heart stars. As far as my verdict for this game, out of 10, I'll definitely give it an 8. It was a very great game. Very great. I'll definitely like to play this with my wife at some point. So since it has co-op. So back to the 100%, I forgot. So you have to get all the heart stars. And then after you get all the hot stars, you have 97%. And then you have to do like 3 side modes. The 3 side modes are basically do all the puzzles in the game in a row. All 5 puzzles, which are not hard. They're basically just number counting puzzles, essentially. The other one is the jumping test, essentially. So basically, at end of each level, Kirby's like, you get Kirby to basically do like a long jump, essentially, across, just get a random item. And you have the time Kirby's jumps correctly to get in the right spot. So you have to do it 10 times in a row, good, to achieve basically complete. Sorry that was really hard, up to to explain. I'll have it on screen. You can see exactly how it's done. And the third one was basically a boss rush mode. It's called boss butch, but boss rush basically, where you have to literally fight every single boss, including all 3 phases of the final boss, in one run, without healing, without anything like that. So it was very difficult, but I did do it. So one other thing I want to mention in this game that I thought was kind of weird. So I'm looking at the rating of the game right now. It was rated Kids and Adults KA, which again, that's an old archaic ESRB rating now. They don't do that anymore. But I thought the final boss was not really family friendly. Again, I'll have a video on the screen about showing the last boss, but I kid you not, I'm pretty sure when you destroy his second form, like the center of his eye comes out of his body, essentially, and it looks like it was like blood coming out of his body, and his eye was like bleeding red. I mean, it could be magic, because he does shoot like red magic at you, but like the eye comes out of the body and it's like blood red. I'm pretty sure that's blood. So I don't think that deserves the KA rating it's getting. Or E for everyone, I guess, in this case. In today's, the new ESRB system. Yeah, so yeah, again, verdict. I'll definitely get 8 out of 10. Absolutely. Great game. Across the board. Again, a couple of gripes, but nothing earth-shattering. So, like, comment, subscribe, share, and stay square. For the next episode, I will be playing Doomsday Warrior for the Super Nintendo.